Hey y'all, welcome to Restless Chipotle Kitchen, and I mean the real kitchen. We're gonna be working from my kitchen today, making taco spaghetti, and it is one of my favorites. It's a mashup between my favorite Italian food and my favorite Tex-Mex. So good, quick, easy, one pot. Your whole family's gonna love it, all right? Let's get started. We're going to brown our ground beef and saute the onions. Now, the recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of ground beef. This is 2 pounds of ground beef because my ground beef comes in 1 pound packages, and it's just going to be easier to go ahead and do the 2 pounds. And God knows my family will eat it. So I'm just going to break this up a little bit and get that started. Now, if you're doing this on your stove, you're going to want to have a pot that's big enough that it's going to be able to hold everything, including the spaghetti, because this is a one-pot meal. So let me find the pot I like to use, and I'll show you. This is the pot I like to use. It's like a wok, almost, and it's got high sides. It works perfectly in this. You could use a Dutch oven, that'll work great too. Basically what you're looking for is anything that you can saute and simmer in, all right? Once the beef has had a chance to start to brown a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and add my onions. And I'm not seasoning this beef at all because with the other ingredients, there's going to be plenty of salt in this. I don't really want to add any other, any more salt than is already going to be in it from the taco seasoning and other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and add my onions. The recipe calls for 1 cup, but I had a really big onion and I didn't want any left over, so I just went ahead and used all of it. And we're just going to saute that. Now this may take a little longer to cook because it's not an actual stovetop. And I know that sometimes it does take a little longer to cook things, but we'll get there. Actually, in a lot of ways, I like cooking in my actual kitchen better. It's a lot easier, it's more comfortable for me, and I've got everything right, at my fingertips. Everything's here that I need to use. In the summertime, the light isn't very good because we have a lot of trees on our property. We have about 2¼ acres, and it's all wooded. So in the summertime, everything, with all the trees, everything has a lot of leaves, and it's very shaded. But when it starts to be fall and the leaves start falling off the trees, I get more light in here, and it's a little bit easier to do pictures and video because I do have more light. You want to break up that meat really well, and you can use any kind of pasta that you would like to use. I like to use spaghetti because I think that the meat sticks to it better. I don't know if sticks to it is a word that's the best to use, but it's the one I'm going to use. All right. This has quite a bit longer to cook because we're going to put the pasta in there and it's going to simmer. So I don't have to worry about the meat being all the way done. But as you can see, the onions are pretty translucent. They're pretty much done, and the meat is pretty much done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add 8 ounces of spaghetti, and the thin spaghetti works better than the regular spaghetti. This actually happens to be the regular spaghetti because I wasn't thinking and I got the regular one instead of the thin one. But the thin one cooks quicker and more evenly, just FYI. And then we're also going to add 1 can of Ro Tel, which are the tomatoes and chilies. You can get the mild, the original, or the spicy, just depending on what you like. We're going to add the taco seasoning mix, if I can ever get it open. All right. And then we're going to add 3 cups of water. Stir that around just a bit. And then on your stove, you're going to turn that to high and bring that to a boil. I've got this on as high as it'll go, so we'll see what happens. But what I'm gonna want to do is bring that to a boil. Let's see how fast that happens. And then once it's at a boil, we're going to cover it and we're going to simmer it until the spaghetti is done. Once it comes to a boil, you're going to cover it, turn it to low, and simmer it until the spaghetti is done, which is about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, it's starting to boil a little bit. I'm going to give it a little stir to make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. I'm going to put the cover on and turn it down to low. And then I'm going to leave it for 10 to 15 minutes or until the spaghetti is cooked and a lot of that liquid has evaporated, all right? I'll see you back here in, 10 to 15 minutes. All right, y'all, it's about that time. It's been about 15, 20 minutes, and as you can see, a lot of the liquid has been absorbed by the pasta, which is exactly what we wanted. Now, you also want to kind of keep an eye on it and make sure that it doesn't go dry and start sticking to the bottom too, right? So now what we want to do is we want to stir in the cream of chicken soup, and this stuff is like gold. I mean, what can't you do with a can of cream of chicken or cream of mushroom soup, right? I swear, my mother lived with this. I mean, we had this stuff constantly, right? This is what makes it creamy. And you just want to give that a good stir. Get that stirred in there. Now here's a little secret. If you want it to be a little bit creamier, you feel like it's not creamy enough, because sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's a little bit more water in there or whatever. You can put in another can of cream of chicken soup, or I have been known to add about 4 ounces of cream cheese. That doesn't hurt either. That does not hurt at all. Cream cheese never hurt anything. All right, so now you have the cream of chicken soup in there, and then we're going to take about 2/3 or so of our cheese and just put that in there too. And give that, trying not to make a mess. Give that a good stir and let that get melted in. You want this cheese to melt into the sauce. Some people like to use Velveeta in this. It melts a little bit easier, they think. If you want to do that, that's fine. I don't use Velveeta a whole lot. Some things I use it for, like if I'm going to make queso, like during football season or whatever, if I'm going to make queso, then I'll have Velveeta around, and sometimes I'll use it then, but you could use it. Now, if you find that you have some extra liquid, and sometimes you do, I have a little bit more liquid than I would normally have, you can leave this simmer with the top off until some of the liquid is cooked off, or you can add a little more pasta. That'll work too, because the leftovers on this are super good too. All right, so most of the extra liquid has evaporated off, and the spaghetti has soaked up all of that flavor. Now what we're going to do is take the extra cheese that we didn't use and sprinkle that right on top. And you can add more if you want to. And then we're going to take the cilantro, and this is 1/2 cup. You can use more if you want, or less if you don't like it. Obviously, I love it. If you've been around here for any length of time, you know that I love it. And then I'm just going to put the top back on and turn off the heat. And then I'm just going to let that sit until the cheese is melted, and it'll be ready to eat. It's so easy, all in one pot, in about 30 minutes tops. Such an easy dinner, plus everybody loves it. It's cheesy, it's gooey. Your family is going to absolutely love it. Wait till you see it. All right, should be melted by now. Look at that, all of that cheesiness. All that Tex-Mex smell, so good. Dig into this. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. So cheesy and creamy and delicious. Y'all, that was super, super easy, and this is so good. It is so delicious. The kitchen smells so good right now, and it is so creamy and gooey. Oh gosh, look at that. Definitely use tongs because it is just that cheesy and creamy and gooey. You're just, I mean, I don't even know if you can see how deliciously gooey and cheesy this is, but it is, and it's good. So, taco spaghetti, absolutely yummy. I know you're gonna love it. I know your family's gonna love it. 30-minute dinner, tops. Can't wait to eat. So, I'll see y'all next week. We're gonna do something yummy. I don't know what it is, but it'll be amazing. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to come back. I love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.